In June 2025, the usually quiet, tree-lined streets of Parkland, a suburban neighborhood in southeast Calgary, became the unlikely setting for a terrifying series of encounters that blurred the line between everyday life and the untamed wild, beginning on a bright, calm morning when a woman stepped out for her usual dog walk, completely unaware that a mother bobcat, lean, powerful, and fiercely protective of her kittens hidden under a nearby deck, had been silently stalking the area for days. Moving like a shadow between the fences and gardens, watching small animals slipping through alleys, and observing humans without revealing her presence until the moment she chose, and within seconds, the serene morning was shattered as the bobcat sprang from cover, charging with astonishing speed directly at the woman, knocking her to the ground with the force of a predator that was both agile and relentless, claws raking her arms and shoulders, her small dog barking frantically, her screams piercing the quiet of the neighborhood, neighbors rushing out to witness a scene that felt like something out of a horror movie, and paramedics arriving moments later to take her to the hospital where she was treated for scratches and minor injuries. Yet the psychological impact of the attack, the shock, the disbelief, the sudden realization that danger could emerge from what had seemed a safe and familiar environment, was far deeper, lingering in the minds of those who saw it and in the community at large. While wildlife officers and Alberta fish and wildlife specialists began their investigation, noting that the adult female bobcat's aggression was likely triggered by maternal instincts and that she would not hesitate to defend her kittens from any perceived threat. And although traps were set and officers patrolled the neighborhood for hours, the cat eluded capture, slipping silently back into the vegetation that bordered Fish Creek Provincial Park, leaving residents on edge and wary of every rustle of leaves or movement across their lawns. And the tension escalated just days later on June 29th, when another woman walking her dog in the same area spotted a bobcat kitten and was then confronted by what was almost certainly the same adult female, resulting in scratches that once again sent a wave of fear through the community, prompting wildlife officials to issue urgent safety warnings advising people to keep pets leashed, supervise children, avoid approaching wildlife, and remove attractants such as food sources that might draw animals into yards. While experts explain that bobcats are normally solitary and shy creatures who actively avoid humans, but when defending offspring, their behavior can become aggressive, sudden, and unpredictable, creating moments of real danger in what would otherwise be considered safe suburban spaces. And as residents shared harrowing accounts on local forums, describing sightings of the bobcat prowling quietly across yards at night, perching on fences, slipping beneath decks, or disappearing into alleyways, the community's sense of security was profoundly shaken, leading many to adjust routines, restrict outdoor activities for children and pets, and develop heightened awareness of the natural world encroaching upon urban life. While experts and wildlife officers emphasize that living near wild habitats like Fish Creek Provincial Park requires vigilance, respect, and preparedness, because encounters like these, though rare, illustrate the very real reality of coexistence with predators, the instinctual behaviors of animals, and the delicate balance between human expansion and the survival of wildlife. And as the narrative unfolded over weeks, it became clear that the Parkland Bobcat incidents were more than just isolated attacks. They were a dramatic reminder that nature does not always adhere to human boundaries, that predator and prey instincts persist even in the shadows of suburbia, and that awareness, education, and careful observation are critical, because one moment of routine can transform in the blink of an eye into a desperate fight for survival, leaving long-lasting emotional scars on victims, their families, neighbors, and the community, reshaping the collective consciousness around what it means to live alongside the wild, to understand its power, its unpredictability, and its persistence, so that even in the calmest streets, every rustle of leaves, every distant cry, every glimpse of movement becomes a signal to respect, to pause, and to acknowledge the ever-present reality that the natural world, no matter how close to home, remains untamed, and that the Parkland Bobcat attacks of June 2025 will be remembered not just as isolated incidents, but as a chilling testament to the intersection of human life and the raw instincts of the wild, illustrating how fragile our sense of safety can be when nature decides to remind us that it is never truly contained. That even in a modern city, life, survival, and instinct can collide in moments of terror that are as unforgettable as they are real, and that the lessons of vigilance, preparation, and respect are as vital as the ordinary routines that once seemed so safe, forever altering how the community perceives the wild that lives just beyond their fences, under their decks, and in the quiet spaces of their neighborhood parks, and ensuring that every future walk, every outdoor activity, every glance toward the underbrush carries with it a heightened awareness of the living, breathing, and unpredictable world that coexists with them, a reminder that, in the blink of an eye, life can pivot from peaceful routine to primal instinct, leaving lasting impressions of fear, respect, and awe for the untamed creatures who share the edges of our human world.